this at home, y'all. Don't try this at home, because this, my friends, will, here it is. You see that? That's a flambe.
Got him.
What is up, YouTube? Thank you for coming to another video.
Slicing it up, chopping away.
And what I do is I made that real hot, right? See that?
Pan.
I'll just go ahead and I'll just throw it up in there. So this is the time when I go ahead and not ice these down. Now this sauce here I'm going to put right up in there. And that's how that's going to go.
Oh, that's cool.
And what I like to do here, guys, is I like to just place it all down.
Ever so nicely.
Ever so nicely. I got this seasoning. It's called ham.
Iguana people. Welcome back to Yohan's kitchen. Seems to be cooking up some delicious shrimp today, y'all. Looks like he's going for some Caribbean flair today. Let's see what he's doing. You know Yohan always makes the best shit.
What is up, YouTube? Thank you for coming to another video. But as you know, of the twist that we've been taking, I definitely like to do different things. Right now we're on vacation. We took at least a week off because, like I said, it's rolling to about 90 degrees out there. And when I say 90 degrees, that means it's 90 degrees up here. But when you get down below, the temperature on the ground level coming up is about 135 degrees. And I'll tell you what, guys, it ain't no joke. And this is why, you know, the guys at this point in time have me doing a lot of base work, base camp stuff. Simply because the temperatures out there, as you know, Ollie can sit here and tell you, treacherous. It's like a, what is it?
It's like a chipotle pepper.
Yeah, it's crazy hot out there. I go out, and so what the guys did is that they went ahead and hooked me up with this. Yo, this thing is amazing. These guys don't sponsor me at all, but you see this thing right here? I'll tell you what, dude. I put this on, and it's got three different subjects, right? I can put this on right here. Can't hear myself too good, so I'm gonna be yelling a little bit, but it's got three different ways. Three different ways to adjust the coolness. And I'll tell you what, when I'm out, you know, out and about, it really works. So if you hunters are out there, don't mind my dog barking because he's out there getting a little bit of excitement because my little baby. But you know what? We got food here, so you got to get off now. So like I said, they don't sponsor me. But, you know, since I'm out there all the time and it's so hot, dude, it does. It's just like it says on TV. It runs up to 6 hours per charge, and it keeps me cool. So, enough of that since they don't sponsor me, but I'm going to put it there. And if you guys want to go down there, I'll link their stuff below. You can probably find it on Amazon.com. You know, but in the meantime, since we're talking about hot and all of that, as you know, the summertime is here, so we like to make food that's, you know, hey, a little easier to make, a little coolness, or, you know, you don't have to have something that's hot all the time. So what I get to do is when I'm out there, I kind of make like a little fruit salad, but I give it a Caribbean twist with some fresh shrimp. Stick by for this video, guys. You're gonna love it, all right? These are fresh mangoes, guys. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come like this. We're gonna just pull all of this skin. I'm not going to bore you with all of this because in a minute it's going to look like this. So I peel off all of these skins, you know. I don't let nothing go to waste. I bring it out to Shelly. If y'all don't know who Shelly is, he's this guy up here. But I bring them out to him, and you know, he eats anything. You know, Shelly's a big old tortoise. But you know, this shrimp cocktail that I'm making is a little twist. You know, it's got a little twist to it. You know, it's really good. I use a couple of different native fruits here, and also I use some mango, and you can use just about anything you like. But me, I like mangoes. You know, they're really, really good. They have a great taste in your mouth when you eat. I feel when you're eating fish, you know, it's really, really good. I'm gonna cut these like so, and it's basically gonna cut it right down the middle, so I can slice them into the little cubes that I need to slice them in. You want to watch out if you have a very sharp knife like I do. You want to be very, very careful. You also want to make sure you take off the rest of these things here, because these things here have a tendency to getting a little bitter. So what I do is I'll put this to the side there, and then I'll do this.
I love mango, Yohan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, mango's really good, man. All right. And cut this all up into little cubes. And we're gonna come down. Boom.
Little cubes.
Yeah.
That's a nice knife, Yohan.
I love this knife. I love this knife. Really does great on everything. One of my favorite nephews got me this knife.
That's very cool, Yohan.
Yep. There we go. There's one more spot. And that's what we do here. Just put this together. Break that all up.
Looks delicious.
Yep. What I do is I put this to the side, so I have what we call my mise en place. If y'all don't know what mise en place means, it's a French term for everything in place. So I'm gonna just put this on here, and leave that sit to the side. I like using these little peppers here. The reason why I do is because I really don't use a lot, but when I do use them, I can just use these little ones because they're just right for the amounts that I need. Because I basically just use these as a little chopped garnish, and I kind of pulverize it a little bit just so I can throw it around the plate. You know, I don't pull out the seeds or nothing, because I like the whole.
They're not size cuts, Yohan.
Well, I chop them real down. So I give a little pulverized feeling here, and it's like this is the stuff that I'll throw all around on my plate. This way it intermingles with my mango and some of my garlic that I chop up, because you know I'm gonna do a whole mixture of mise en place here. I'm gonna do a little bit of an onion, and I have some grapes going on, and it's a nice little thing that I got going on here. So I'll also go ahead and I'll use some onion here. Oh, grabby! I got this watermelon for Sheldon here. If you want to take that out, you know. And, sometimes we have to bring Sheldon a whole watermelon. You know, this way he has his nourishment of the day, because I'll tell you, that guy eats a lot. He certainly eats a lot.
He's very hungry.
Well, he's a big turtle. I should say he's a big tortoise. He's about 75 pounds. And, you know, well, we all know what he looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these all down. What I do is I just chop it up real nice like. Yeah. And I tell you guys, this stuff here is really, really good. You know, most people don't know. They think automatically just go ahead and boil up the shrimp and just mix the the horseradish and everything to the to the tomato product. But I like to build my flavor margins. You know, I like to make sure that I get the best flavor that's available to everything that I got here. So I just make sure that it's a good thing.
Slicing it up, chopping away.
Yeah, just like I say, I make sure that I got that really nice and chopped like. And I'll put that in here. And what I'll do is most people will just go ahead and do it raw, but I don't. I go ahead and I'll give it a little bit of sauteing action. This way I can sweat it. I can definitely sweat it. I get this going really hot right here. I'll put that up on high. Right, and I'll put that up on high, and in the meantime, I'll go ahead and I'll get me some here garlics and put that together. Now sometimes these garlics can be a pain in the butt. So what I do is I just come right up in here,
Smash it.
and give it a little smash, trash action, and then these things here will pop up out of the socket just like an old cooter.
Very nice.
So you just go ahead and pull this out like so. And
Nice
what I'll
little
do is
clove.
I'll just strip that right back there. I just pull all my stuff here. I won't go ahead and bore you with all of this, but I'll definitely show you when it's done. So go ahead, all of that garlic is all chopped. So what I'll do is I'm gonna just cut it roughly like that because again, I'm just looking for the sweat action. And of course, it's a little different than your average shrimp cocktail. You know what I'm saying? This is more or less like a Floridian type of deal. You know what I'm saying? So don't fret because it's gonna be really, 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 really good. So what I'm gonna do is remember all that mise en place that I was saying that I was doing?
Yeah.
I go ahead and I got a little bit of olive oil here. And what I do is I made that real hot, right? See that?
Pan.
And I'll just go ahead and I'll just throw it up in there. You know, I'm gonna keep this to the side. I'm gonna keep that to the side, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna go ahead and mix this around. I'm not looking to get this super cooked now.
Beautiful colors.
I'm only trying to sweat it, and as soon as I sweat it, I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with my fruit. And then I'm going to keep that on the side, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to that because I'm going to flambe this, man. And you're probably going to be wondering, damn, what's he going to do this with? You'll see. So and at this time, y'all, you want to make sure that you go ahead and you throw in your mango. Okay? You take that mango, and you throw that in there just like that. See that? And you give that a nice little mix. And again, you're not looking to overcook this. I'm only looking to sweat it. Now this is the time when I go ahead and I get a little creative. This is where I know that it's a little bit of Floridian style. So I go ahead and I use my fruit infused rum. Don't try this at home, y'all. Don't try this at home because this, my friends, will, there it is. You see that? That's a flambe. Can you see that? Yeah.
It was lit, Yohan. It just went out, that's all.
It did?
Yeah, lit a little bit.
Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I'm just pushing this right to the side, okay? And you want to make sure you don't overcook this. This is where you would put that to the side. Now, this is where you pull this over like so, and you get that nice and hot like, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with the rest of this stuff. And we're gonna put it together, and then we're gonna eat it. So we got our pot here, okay? Now you're probably wondering, what the heck is this? Well, this here is water. And you're probably wondering why we don't use that water. Well, let me tell you something. We're in Lake Okeechobee, and my well is only 5 foot deep. Sure, it goes through a little machine and softens it all up, but when it comes to drinking it, nah, not a good scene. So we go ahead and we get our water shipped in. Woohoo! And I go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and pour this up in here. And this is where I'm gonna boil up all my shrimp. But yeah, that's right, guys. One thing in South Florida, you don't drink the water unless you have like state-of-the-art RO system or whatever, because half the wells here, the sea level here is only 5 foot. Remember that. The water level below your house is 5 foot. So now, unless you get up to northern Florida, then you know you got deep wells up there. You know, of course that's some of the best water in the world. You know, but now down here in South Florida, think about swamp water. That's why I get mine delivered, purified. Some people like to use different kinds, but you know, I'm the old-fashioned type. I like that Boston bib. You know, it's some people call it, you know, what else do they call this?
The iceberg lettuce.
The iceberg. I mean, I like it. It doesn't have any nutritional value to it, but I really like the consistency of it.
It's full of water.
Yeah, it is. And for what I'm doing with this particular dish is, you know, is appropriate for the type of lettuce that I'm using. I go ahead and I slice this real thin like, and almost make it like a slaw consistency. You're probably wondering, wow, is he gonna make like a slaw with that? Well, what I like to do is I go ahead and I lay this down like a bed. You know, I lay it down like a bed, and then I go ahead and I lay my products right on top of it, and it tastes, everything comes together so good, my friends, so good. So this is what I do here.
Spread it
Is
out.
I'll just roll this all out, and we're gonna probably need another one, and I was right. So we'll go ahead and we'll cut this off like that, throw that over there for Sheldon, and I always like to pull a couple of tops because I like it nice and firm.
It's nice firm.
Yeah, it is, man. And then what I do is I slice this all down again like a slaw. Pull this all off. That. And cut it up like a slaw. And you'll see. It'll be a nice little bit. This is the foundation to our Caribbean shrimp cocktail. You're not gonna find this anywhere, guys. This is an original. This is an original dish that I'm creating here for you. You know, and not like this is something that you'll find in a restaurant. Okay, so I'll just spread this out right here, nice like. Right. And some people like tomatoes and stuff like that, so I like Campari tomatoes because they're real good. And then what I do here is I just go ahead and I slice these into quarters, because a lot of people don't like tomatoes, you know. It's an acquired taste, and some people think that, you know, they're too acidy or whatever. But what I do is I go ahead and I put this right here like so. One like this on this side. One on this side. One right there. One right there. There. Right there. So I use some fresh fruit up in here. I use not a lot. I don't beat it up with it. It's just the stuff that I use. It's calling for the dish. And I just throw it all around. Yeah. Now,
What's Yohan got over here?
now, like I was telling y'all, this is the time when I go ahead and put this like so.
He's gonna spoon it right in. You're just covering it.
Yep.
He's spooning it right all over that.
You got all of them onion and all of them mangoes up on here. And you just pour it right up in there.
Looks very nice.
Yeah, this ain't done yet, man. This is in layers, you see what I'm saying?
It's very layered.
This is not done yet. And we're just gonna leave that sit there like that. You throw yourself up a couple of crackers up on this. Ooh, woo. Man, oh man, it ain't nothing nice, y'all. Now, you know what? I think I better put on my...
He needs to keep cool.
I need to put on my cooler because the smell of that is just driving me bonkers. Just driving me bonkers. I gotta get me some seasoning.
Well, I told you.
Didn't I tell you?
I told you.
Didn't I tell you? So what I do is I go ahead and I use this Zatarain's Creole stuff. And I just, I get a little friendly. But I don't get that friendly by just pouring it. I sprinkle.
He's sprinkling
I
that.
love to sprinkle. Watch this.
Just sprinkle that shit right all over that board. There.
Yep, not sprinkle. Now, the last few ingredients, you know what they are. They're these shrimps, they're these 21, 25s. They're already clean, deveined, and everything. That's the beauty about going to the store to get these, guys. You can find them at Aldi's, you can find them at Winn-Dixie, you can find them at Publix, or any shopping center that y'all go to. You can find them. Or, if you're in the heart of Louisiana, you can go out there and cast net yourself some. Or whatever, go down to the fish house and get you some. Some people like to use mud bugs with this dish. They'll throw some mud bugs on with it. Some scallops. They'll throw some scallops on with it. Maybe even some mussels or something like that. But you see, I bring my stuff up to where it needs to be, guys. Okay, now. Okay, just for a little bit of Hoonannies and giggles, I go ahead and I get my Everglades heat and I open up that hole about that big and I just dump me a little bit up in there. See that?
Oh yeah.
Now I'm not done.
What else you got?
I come up in here with a little bit of garlic because I don't know where y'all are from, but my water don't come seasoned. I like to season my water. Let's see. Oh yeah, and just for the hell of it, I got this seasoning. It's called ham. Break yourself off a little chunk of it, see, because it all congeals. I just throw it up in there. And that's it. Don't ever tell anybody that you got a seasoning named ham. Give it a little mix. My goodness, guys. This here is going to be good. This is going to be good. And you would take this out, you would take this out and you put it out on the table for your kid to come out, just sit there with some crackers and everything, and they just throw it together up on there. Now, this will be the time when I go ahead and I throw these scrimps right up in there.
Very nice.
You want to make sure that when you're cooking shrimp, you don't overcook them. Because if you overcook them, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time because they're gonna get all rubbery. You don't want them to get rubbery. Now, if this is the time where y'all want to take your salts and you want to give it a little mix, I use the Heinz ketchup. I use Heinz ketchup, and I'll get a little bit of this. Tomato ketchup. There we go. A little bit of that.
What's that, Yohan?
This here is how you say this? This here is
Horseradish.
horseradish. Now I add a little bit of horseradish to my ketchup product because I like the sauce that comes out of it. You pour a little bit up in there like that, give it a little mix. And so, like I said, y'all, you want to make sure that you have this just right because you don't want to overcook this stuff here. Shrimp's overcooked, you ain't having a good time. So in the meantime, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and I like to get me some ice. And I put me some ice up in a pot. What I like to do is get me some ice. And I just break me down some ice like so. And what I do is just put it on the side. And then, when it comes time for me to blanch my things, that's just right. So this is the time when I go ahead and ice these down. And I go ahead and I pour a little bit of water inside of that. This way,
Stops cooking.
it stops them cooking. And they're nice and chill. Now mix it right up here. That's it, y'all. Ain't nothing better. You put that up there on a little seasoning, little cracker. Yes, sir.
Colander.
So this is where I separate them now. Let them chill. Just let them get a little cool for a little while and we'll be right back. So this is where I got these two little trusty ramekins. And I put one right there and I put one right there. Okay, and I bet you're wondering what sauces I'm gonna put in here. Well, this sauce here I'm gonna put right up in there. And that's how that's gonna go.
That looks cool.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook up another one to this side, but a different type. So I got some of these roasted red peppers, and I like to go ahead and I like to string these right along side. You know what I'm saying? I just like to throw that right there like that. A couple more, right like that, like that. And go ahead and throw that in there. And that, my friends, is a little bit of mixture of a vinaigrette, a balsamic reduction, and this little additive right here, which I don't tell too many people. A little bit of crushed red pepper. And what I do is I take that and I mix that up.
Let's mix it all up.
Yes, sir. And then give me a little bit of that seasoning, Creole seasoning. Mix that right up in there. Let's see. I gotta put on my My cooler again. I love this cooler. All right, guys. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and I like to separate all of these here. First I'll put them on this plate here so I can just separate them all. And then I can place them good so I can season them up good. So we got all our shrimp done. And what I like to do here, guys, is I like to just place it all down.
Ever so nicely.
Ever so nicely. And you're probably saying to yourself, damn, I ain't never seen any shrimp cocktail that looks like this. Well, you won't, because this is my own concoction. And I used to make this for many people that used to come up to our place when I worked in Fort Lauderdale. And also, I used to work for a place in up in Inglis, Florida. And there was a guy up there called Dan. He had a place from New England called Dan's Clam Stand. And I used to make all kinds of specials there for him and stuff like that, and for his people. And this is when I came up with this dish. This dish here is what I call a Floribian. You notice how it's not Caribbean, but it's Floribian. Okay? It's Floribian, and it's got a little bit of the Creole accent to it, and I'll tell you guys, it's a really good dish. And if you guys want the recipe to this, you can go ahead and hit me down below. I'll gladly send it to you. And you can have this like on a nice summer day. You got your family come over. You got or an outing. You got all kinds of stuff going on, and you want to break out something. This only took me 20 minutes to make, guys. 20 minutes to make, and you really can't beat that. Let's taste this here. Let's taste this sauce.
Which one's better, Yohan?
You know what? I can't tell, but I'm telling you, I know what it needs.
More heat.
A little bit more of this, yeah. Right on the top. See that? Now, if you want, this is the time where you can come in and you can get your scoop, and you can scoop it right into a little bowl. Man, I'll tell you guys, and it's great. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tell you, we've been doing so much stuff around here. We've been really busy, and we had to take some time off, and I'll tell you, when I take time off, I like to cook for the boys, and we're about to eat this stuff. Thanks a lot for coming to this video, and thank you so much for taking us at 93,000 subscribers today. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you on the next video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a blessed and happy day.
Thanks for coming to the video, everybody. Now's the time to like, comment, and subscribe to Sunset Aquatics on YouTube.